We will face tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada. The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away.
Says it's over. I feel like yelling, Shane, come back. Shane. We like the Canadians. Everybody who doesn't like Canadians, for God's sake?
People, it's, yeah.
Like, we literally had comics in the 80s and 90s because it was so preposterous talking about a war with Canada. Mm-hmm. What's that about, Mayor? What is that about?
I don't know. I don't understand. That's why I'm here to learn.
Okay. Well, that was new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney responding to President Trump's latest tariff announcement in which he plans to impose a 25% levy on cars and auto parts that are made outside the United States. This comes as Toronto's mayor is also looking to retaliate by restricting U.S. companies from bidding on the city's contracts. And we have the mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, is joining us now. She's going to explain all of this to us. She's in Washington today to attend a trilateral trade summit hosted by the U.S. Conference of Mayors, which will also include mayors from Canada and Mexico. And first of all, I mean, all kidding aside, I'm sure you understand, and the Canadian people understand how much Americans love Canadians. I mean, there's a little skirmishing right now. Obviously, the government but just the relations between our countries have been so positive for so long.
Americans and Canadians continue to love each other. My brother lives in Seattle, is an American. It's been American since the 70s. So we have a lot of families, American Canadians. We do a huge amount of trade in Toronto to U.S. We buy a lot of American goods. Actually, we buy more goods than China, Japan, France combined. It's like
Canada
500.
does.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because you're so close to us.
Yeah.
We buy all sorts of things. And this tariff business, totally senseless, I don't like, hurtful, have just stopped everybody in its track.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the cost of living of Americans because it means the gasoline price is going to go up, grocery price is going to go up, housing price is going to go up, everything is going to go up. Like, why?
On both sides. And hey, Jim, as far as explainer goes, just for viewers, it's really come more into focus over the past week or so for me as I'm trying to sort through what in the world's going on here. When you and I were first bumping into each other on the Hill back in the mid-1990s, NAFTA was a huge thing.
Right.
And that really was a dividing line, NAFTA, which was hailed by Bill Clinton, Newt Gingrich, leaders on both sides, but populists, and they'll say, such as myself, were very concerned about jobs that could leave America. And I think we're seeing 30 years later the impact of that. There are so many bonuses, but why would any politician be doing this? Because that lingering resentment that remains with a lot of working Americans, right?
Yeah, but I've never heard too many Americans who have a lot of resent towards the Canadians.
No, not toward the Canadians.
Good to know.
But it is about the populist movement to trade. And I think this is a little less about populism, and it's a commingling of two things that are on Trump's mind a lot these days. One is he does see all of these tariffs and tariff threats as bargaining chips, right? So he, like, some of it's real, some of it's not, some of it's on, some of it's off. That is being commingled, I think, in his mind with this idea that in the future, the war America's greatness is going to be defined by artificial intelligence, which is going to require a lot of chips, a lot of data, a lot of compute. That's going to require a lot of minerals, a lot of energy.
Minerals,
so he feels like we're going to need a lot of leverage with Canada on different parts of that. Does he really think that Canada should become the 51st state? I think it started as a joke, but I think it now is something that is really top of mind. I don't think he's joking at all about Greenland.
No, he's not.
I think they want the minerals that sit under your land, that sit under Greenland's land. So there is like an overall theory that's driving it. And in the U.S., I think we're all pretty baffled. Like, you can understand getting angry with some of our European partners about, are you funding NATO or not? But looking at Canada and saying, like, that's a threat, and yet, yes, like, our problems are the result of Canadian behavior, I think is baffling.
I think it is tiered. I think it is, first of all, China. I think most Americans would welcome a trade war with China. Europe, I've heard Americans, Barney Frank and I went on the floor, and actually one thing we agreed on was Europeans, this was back in the 90s, needed to pull their weight when it came to the military. The war was 40 years back. But you are right. It is surprising to Americans that Canada has gotten the political target of this administration.
And I don't think Americans want to take over Canada. I don't think Americans want us to be the 51st state. Certainly, Canadians have no interest on it. It is just, it has ignited huge amount of uncertainty, nationalistic pride. We are strong Canadians. We're going to fight back. We're going to defend ourselves. Are you kidding me? Don't you dare do that to us. And so first it was surprised. Now the angry face is coming in, and we're saying that we're not going to buy any Americans' good anymore. So there's all these buy Canadian apps that are happening across our nation. As the City of Toronto, we have put up Love Local sign. We've mounted a Buy Canadian campaign. And, well, fine, if you don't want our goods, we will also not buy your goods. It's going to hurt both sides, but we have to defend ourselves.
Canadians are not coming to the U.S. to travel either, by the way. I mean, that's almost ended. They're just, the numbers have gone down from, like, from 1 million something to, like, tens of thousands or so. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's, it's taken me a long time to realize, I'm sure it's taken Canadians months too, to see that what initially seemed like it was about bargaining and extorting concessions reflects something deeper. I mean, Donald Trump really does want to be this 19th century president. He wants to make America great again, but he also wants to make America bigger. He has this idea of extending boundaries. There is a manifest destiny quality, and Canada's in the way. And so, I'm pleased to see Carney explicitly and forthrightly say, no, we will resist this.
That's right.
The relationship we had is over, implicitly meaning as long as you talk this way. I'm curious how you think Canada's going to come back from where it is now. I mean, Donald Trump won't be president forever. Is this story going to revert to the U.S.-Canada relations that we know, or are we really in a different era now forever?
I can't really tell. That's what's a bit scary about it. Toronto is the 4th largest city in North America. We have a budget that's $79 billion. The tone, the feeling that I'm getting from Torontonians is that we're hurt.
I can assure you one thing. We're going to make sure that we inflict as much pain as possible to the American people without inflicting pain on the Canadian population. All he's doing is hurting the American people. He thinks the cost is going to go down for automobiles in the U.S. It's the total opposite. The costs are going to go skyrocketing. It keeps calling out countries. He's really pointing us out for the most part. Ontario, 50% of the parts within the vehicles are American. And, how do you dissect? They were showing me drawings today of all the different parts from all over the world, by the way, that goes in one vehicle. So I can tell you, we just aren't going to roll over. We're going to retaliate, and he's going to feel the pain from the American people. We have two options here. We either roll over as a country, and he runs us over 15 times and gets what he wants, or we feel a little bit of pain, and we fight like we've never fought before. That $65 billion of tariffs that we have on the table that we can launch towards the U.S., we have to run through every tariff and minimize the pain for Canadians, maximize the pain for Americans. And I feel terrible for the Americans, but it's one person, it's President Trump, that's creating this chaos.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power. We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away. We can deal with this crisis best by building our strength right here at home. It will take hard work. It will take steady and focused determination from governments, from businesses, from labor, from Canadians. We will need to dramatically reduce our reliance on the United States. We will need to pivot our trade relationships elsewhere. And we will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations.
What we're witnessing here is Canada snap back hard on tariffs and on the broader relationship. And this is something we need to understand, that if this was just about the tariffs, then yes, it would be tense and it would be difficult and Canadians would be angry because we have these free trade agreements. And whether you support them or not, agreements were made. And not only were agreements made, Donald, in his first term as president, redid the major NAFTA agreement between Canada, USA, Mexico. He called it a bad deal, the original one, and he made the greatest deal in history. So if there is any U.S. president who has no right to do what he's doing, it's Trump, because he is violating in many ways the terms and spirit of his own free trade deal with his two neighboring countries, right? It is insane. But if it was just about all of that, it wouldn't be so bad, guys. Because it's also the threat to sovereignty. The tariffs matter, yes, but it's the sovereignty too. It's not just, oh, we're going to make your industry suffer. Oh, we want to bring jobs back to the United States. Whatever. Okay, we'll have those fights as friends, like, as friendly rivals in the world, I suppose. Everyone wants their country to be the best. But now you're trying to attack us like you're an enemy nation. And that's why the relationship is maybe not permanently broken, but it's broken for now. And I don't see that changing, frankly, until Trump is gone, and maybe not for a while after.